Take 3 without this dog barking. Ma'am. Hey everyone in quarantine land. It's Jen, your weird chef friend who is going stir crazy, not having a chance to cook for people. I have done a lot of cooking and it is only day 3. So, I've decided to start doing these videos where I will instruct you guys on how to use some of your different food items to make maybe something you haven't had before, or something to jazz up some of the stuff you already have. Make a little something different, stretch your culinary legs. I mean, we all got the time. What else are you gonna do? Today I just figured we'd do a really easy sauce. I'm gonna make tilapia with wilted kale and romesco sauce. Romesco sauce is one of my favorite sauces. It's traditionally made with tomatoes, but you can make it with bell peppers instead. Today we're going to do a little mix of both. It's really great because that sauce is great on plates, in pasta, on sandwiches. It's breakfast sandwiches with a little romesco on it. So good. It's going to be delicious. Anyway, welcome to my kitchen. It is small, so this will be pretty much all you'll be seeing is my one counter area. Yes, this is the only counter space in my kitchen. My microwave is literally right here. My oven is right there. My fridge is right here. This is a tiny ass kitchen, but I've lived here for almost 4 years. Yeah, almost 4 years, so it's fine. As you can tell, it's very personalized. I will be doing a couple of these a week. I don't know exactly what that schedule is going to look like. I just want to share some of what I'm doing with you guys because I am, again, bored. I'll be doing 2 different sets of videos. There's this one, and then there will be a baking one that is going to be a little bit different, but should be fun nonetheless. This is just the first one. It might be a little rough around the edges, so I appreciate any feedback and any positive comments. First thing you need to do is set your oven to 450. Wash your hands, wash your hands. Everybody has to wash their hands. Alright, list of everything you need. Oven at 450. A blender. A knife. I like my little Wusthof 6-inch. I use it for everything. A cutting board. A pan. The bell pepper. Tomatoes. A little bit of white wine. Garlic. Yes, I have a jar of pre-minced garlic because I hate chopping garlic. Salt and pepper, everyone's best friends. Oil. Lemon juice. And macadamia nuts that I got from my lovely friend Bridget, who lives in Hawaii, and I miss her very much. Okay. So, I'm eating these, and I've washed my hands so many times. You guys, I wash my hands a lot. Everyone wash your goddamn hands. So I'm gonna do this without gloves on, and you'll just know that you can do it with gloves if you want, but I'm at home and I'm eating it, so I don't care. Yeah, cool, cool. You can take your bell pepper. I didn't say a bowl. Bowls are super handy to have for this part because you will be using oil, and this is just so it doesn't get all over the place. But you're just gonna pour a little oil on top of this baby. Doesn't have to be a lot. You just want it to coat, because then you're gonna rub it. You want to rub it till it's so shiny it looks like The Rock when he's shirtless. Wash your hands. Alright. Put the bell pepper in the pan. And now we're going to put it in the oven. So once you put the bell pepper in, you can set a timer for about 20 minutes or so. All you're looking to do is char the outside of the skin. The oil is going to help get it crispy instead of making it soft. If you have a gas burner stove, that's actually better to do because you can actually just turn on one of your burners and let the flame, like, just set that pepper right on there. Turn it and get that nice char on the outside. It's a little bit faster than in the oven. I have an electric stove because my apartment's very old and crappy. I still love it here though, so I guess that's on me. But yeah, all you're looking for is that nice char on the outside. Some people would have you peel off the skin afterwards, so you just have that nice cooked down pepper. I personally love the char skin. I think it adds a lot of flavor, and those little flecks of that char, once it blends, you'll see it. It's great. You can also throw the tomatoes in at any time. I'm just going to cook them a little bit, so I'm going to wait till about like 10 minutes to throw them in, so they're not super charred like the pepper is going to be, but a little bit cooked down. If you're doing it in your oven though, you do want to make sure that you're turning it. Again, tongs are your best friend. Test lids. You just want to rotate it in there to make sure you're getting a nice even coloring. I bought fancy tomatoes because they were on sale. I'm not going to use very many. I'm going to only use we'll do 6. We'll do 6. 6 of these little guys. There's still some oil in this bowl, so I'm just going to give them a little tossy toss. Greasy tomatoes. It's almost been 10 minutes. Flip the bell pepper. Oh, you hear that? That's the sound we cooking, baby. You get out of this kitchen right now. Get out of this kitchen right now. Get out. Thank you. No. That was not what I meant. Alright, so once it is out of the oven, it should look kind of like this. Lots of char. Once I got a little more charry than the other, but that's fine. Like I said, I like char. Tomatoes look a little something like this. A little bit of color, split. There will be a lot of juice, and that's fine. That's just that's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm going to slide this on over so I can pull my big, ridiculous blender out. So, first thing you're going to do, once it's nice and cool, it should literally fall apart. I'm going to reuse this bowl, so I'm going to put the tomatoes right on in. Use the bowl for all my scrap shit. Literally, all we're doing is we're going to scrape out a bunch of the seeds, because I don't really want them, and they're literally going to fall out anyway. It's going to just fall open because all the flesh is cooked really nicely. Mostly we're taking out the seeds because they don't blend. It's not so much that they're like add heat or anything like that, like a jalapeno would. It's just they don't blend as nicely. Also, my blender isn't like a Vitamix, so it's not as hardcore, so it just won't blend as well. And then I'm just going to hack it up into some smaller pieces. You don't have to do that. I just find that it helps blend because, again, my blender is not the best blender that you've ever met. But grab some of the white wine. Just a little bit. You don't need to put a whole lot in there. Also, maybe a couple tablespoons of the oil. Mostly all of the liquid in the bottom is for the fact that most blenders don't work very well without liquid in the bottom. I mean, it'll try to blend, but if there's no if there's not enough liquid, it'll just keep burring and not actually blend. If you've ever made too thick of a smoothie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've ever tried to make milkshakes and make them too thick and been like, why isn't the ice cream blending in? It's because you don't have enough milk. Alright, I'm going to add probably about, it's like a teaspoon of garlic. You can go heavier on the garlic if you want. I just don't want to go to the store again, so I'm trying to stay home as much as possible. So I'm trying not to use too much of my stuff. I like a squirt of some lemon juice. It just adds a little flavor. Now, like I said, I'm using these macadamia nuts. You can use any nut for this or no nut at all. The nut just adds a little more texture and a little more flavor. Cashews, pecans, walnuts, those all make a creamier texture. I think it'd be really, really good with cashews, honestly. It'd be more like a pesto creaminess to it. But these are what I have. I've had them in my freezer for a while, so it works really nice. And I'm just gonna put, I don't know, a little handful. The really nice thing about this sauce is that you don't have to be super, super exact, because it's just the vegetables. The vegetables are what's really giving you that flavor, and then we're gonna salt and pepper it. You're just gonna do this to taste. I can't tell you how much salt and how much pepper to put in something, because I love salt, you guys. You're gonna want a little bit of water to add, just have on the side in case it does start to act up and not want to blend. My blender has one of these nice things on top. I'm adding some more hazelnuts because it looks a little thin for me. The nuts also help bulk it. I'm going to find yourself a little container. I have a bunch of these mason jars. You can use a little more salt. That was the first time I tasted it, so give it a little stir. The color of this will change depending on the tomatoes and the peppers you use. Like you saw, I used an orange bell pepper, and then heirloom tomatoes, so it has kind of an orangey color. Traditionally, when you look it up online, you're going to see it's red because people use red peppers and red tomatoes like Romas and stuff. But I like how this one looks because I think that the color is really nice. Anyway, I'm going to make a quick dish here. We're going to go over to the oven. Get these pans hot. This one's super hot. This is the bigger one. This is the small one. What I'm going to be doing is putting a little bit of oil into each of these bad boys. I bought these little tilapia fillets. They're frozen. It's pre-seasoned. This is just like rosemary and thyme. It's not very exciting, but it does give me easy meals, and it's free in the freezer, so it's easy. Tilapia is a great fish if you don't like fish because it's very bland. It takes on the flavor of whatever you're doing. I hate seafood, so it's perfect. Not hot enough. You want to make sure your pan is nice and hot before you put anything in it because you want to get that nice sear on it, and you really only get one shot at that. I mean, eventually you can build a nice sear, but it's better if it's already hot and ready to go. I like this side. This side looks nice, so that's going to be the side. Ah, there we go. So you want to get that little sizzling sound. That means we're doing something. Ah, yeah. That's a good sizzle. I touched raw fish. I'm going to wash my hands. Sizzling sounds mean we're cooking. My hands are washed. Alright. This pan is nice and hot now. That's really thin. It's not going to take long to cook. I have a bunch of kale. I like kale. I don't know why people hate kale. You want that. Get out your handy tongs and toss that kale. Don't let things escape from your pan. You can turn that down now. And we're also gonna flip the fish. Look at that nice crispy skin. And we can turn him down too. nice and get nice and wilty. My kitchen's really old and I have no ventilation in it, so it's just going to be smoky. Anyway, we made back over our friend's garlic, lemon juice, and wine. Put a little wine in there. Woo. For the lemon. And I'm going to shake out just a little bit of garlic. Not a lot, just a little bit. Garlic needs to go back in the fridge. Alright. Smelling good. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Fish is almost done. Alright. We just need a little bit of salt. And a little bit of pepper. I keep my shit right there because I cook so much. That's a lie. I eat a lot of cereal at home. But I'm trying to be better. Especially right now, you know. Gotta eat healthy out here, guys. These are going. We're gonna jump back over so we do some plating. Okay. Easy plating. How to make fine dining at home. I'm going to take some of this sauce. I like a lot of sauce. This isn't cooled very much. It's still pretty thin. I'm going to just... I like a lot of sauce, you guys. Like a lot. And then I don't have a fish spat, so we're going to use my fork. This side has the nicest color on it. I'm going to set it right in. The reason you put the fish on top of the sauce instead of the sauce on top of the fish or whatever meat you're doing is because this way you have a nice crispy skin still, and it's not going to saturate that crispiness. So you still have that nice texture. Alright. And then I'm just going to cut my wilted kale. And there you have wilted greens and tilapia and a nice romesco sauce. Gotta get a photo for the gram. Oh yeah, feel that crispy skin when you cut in. Yeah. The bell pepper really comes out because I didn't use too much tomato. And it's that roasted flavor. Here's some shortcuts you can do to make this sauce if you don't have fresh tomatoes, if you don't have fresh bell peppers. You can use roasted canned tomatoes, roasted canned bell peppers. You can also add in, you can turn it into almost like a pesto style. You can add Parmesan to it if you want to give it some more, like, again, more creamy texture. I like that it's not super creamy. That's why I like using almonds or the hazelnuts are kind of creamy, but mine are frozen, so they don't blend smoothly like Nutella, which is why I like using them. It's a super easy sauce. Looks and tastes incredible. Again, it's great just to have too. Like I said, great on breakfast sandwiches as a spread, or just regular sandwiches. Great underneath meats. You can put it on steak. So good on steak, you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope that it was a little informative. I know that I'm not a very good instructor, but I hope that this is a fun thing for you to watch and that you maybe will experiment. Cooking is wonderful. Watch Ratatouille. Everyone can cook. I highly believe that. Anyone can cook, but you just have to not be scared. I feel like a lot of people get very scared about cooking. They think it's hard, they think that they can't do it, or they're very stuck in their ways on this is the only thing I make, or this is all this is good for. But it's not. It's super fun to mix it up. So I have a bunch of baby kale, so I might be making a kale and hazelnut pesto next. I don't know. I'm trying to look around and see what I got to show you guys. If you have questions about anything ever, if you are stuck at home like I am and you just are like, Jen, what do I do with this? If you want to just reach out, because we're all alone right now. We're all alone but together. Feel free. Ask me. I myself am an introvert. I am not an extrovert. So I understand that some people are very much struggling and reaching out right now. Please know that we're all in this together, and I hope that you enjoyed learning how to make something from me, and I hope that I'll see you soon. Bye.
3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Okay, if you really did like this video at all and you have the means and maybe like me enough too, I will be accepting tips for these videos. My Venmo will be attached.